that a positive mental health is as critical to the academic success as a student's physical well-being. We have a wealth of resources and partners that are available to you to help. My name is Rob Spicker. I'm the Assistant Director in the Communications Department, and I'll be facilitating our discussion this evening with our panel. That includes Jessica Duncan, who's the Executive Director of Student Services, Lori Brooks, the Director of School Counseling and Mental Health, and licensed mental health professional Jamie Kojo-Carey. If you have a question while we're here on Facebook Live, please post it into the comments section. We're going to do our best to address those as they come in. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, you do need to come to Facebook to post a question for us to answer. We had some questions that were turned in beforehand, and we'll be getting to those as well this evening. So to get us started, I want to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Denise Carlin, with some opening remarks. Dr. Carlin.
Thank you, Rob, and good evening to all of our families, staff, and community members for joining us this evening. We appreciate you for taking time out of your day to be part of this important conversation during Mental Health Awareness Month. We know that the well-being of our students, staff, and families is the foundation of a thriving school community. Tonight, we come together to shine a light on mental health, break down stigma, and share the resources and support available across our schools. Our commitment is simple but powerful. No one should feel alone. Whether you're a student navigating challenges, a staff member in need of support, or a parent seeking ways to help your child, we are here for you. In this session, we'll walk you through key mental health services, introduce some of our dedicated professionals answering your questions, which we just did, and provide practical tools and contacts to help ensure that help is always within reach. Thank you for prioritizing mental health and joining us in creating a school community where everyone is seen, supported, and valued. So let's get started.
All right, Dr. Carlin, thank you. And let me turn to Jessica Duncan, Lori Brooks, Jamie Kojo-Carey. Any opening thoughts or remarks from you before we get to the questions?
Well, thank you for being here, for everyone on our Facebook Live event. I think maybe we could start by really doing a general overview of our school-based mental health services and what that means for parents and students. We offer in the school district a system of support that's comprehensive for mental health and wellness. Each school has a school mental health team, and that school mental health team is made up of school counselors, social workers, psychologists, school nurses, and licensed mental health professionals. So each role is unique, and yet together they serve the needs of our students through their mental health. And of course, with our school nurses, their physical health as well. And so we really would like to start tonight by helping parents and students to understand there's a whole team approach. We encourage the student-parent relationship with the schoolhouse, and through that we offer a variety of services.
All right, well, let's get to our questions, one of which was sent in early. It's from a father who believes his son needs some counseling services. And really his question is, how do I connect him? Where do I begin? So for the parents that might think that their child is in need of some support, what's step number one?
I could probably take that one.
Great.
So I think the main thing is reaching out to the school, because we, like Lori had just said, we have a whole team of mental health professionals at the school. We're more than happy to help. So all he needs to do is reach out to the school counselor, school mental health professional, and just let us know what's going on. And we have a whole packet of consents that they can kind of fill out, go over. We can talk to them what their needs are and link them to those services within the school or outside of the school. We can also do referrals to outside agencies or let them know what is available in the community.
Another question we received came from a father as well who had lost his son due to some mental health issues. And he was wondering and asking if the schools had small groups for students where they could meet. And if they do not, is that something that we could arrange to have that peer-to-peer type of counseling?
We do have small groups in the school. It depends on really what the need of the school is. And it would really be, is he looking more, I don't know if he's looking more for like a specific topic or just mental health in general, but we can absolutely, if we have enough kids interested, we definitely can have a group setting done in the school, either by the school counselor, the school, or the school mental health professional, and any of the other school mental health professionals in the mental health team that can help.
And I think even beyond small group, if we work with that family and identify if this is a student who needs a trusted adult or somewhere to go if they're feeling anxious. So there's lots of different levels of support. So if there isn't perhaps a small group at that particular school, it would be important to reach out to the staff because there could be any other number of supports available.
And to add to that, I'll give you an example of where we do have groups, and that is through our partnership with Valerie's House. Not only do we refer families to the house if they'd like to go to evening support as a family, we also have school-based support groups. And so at times we do have groups, as Ms. Kojikari said, it could be based on need and then the number of students, and parents can choose to consent to group work or individual. Some students are comfortable in groups, others may choose to have some individual support. And I want to also mention that our school-based services have a requirement that they must be evidence-based, and that's in state statute. And of course, we always want to look at identifying through assessment exactly what a student's needs are, the acuity of that need, and then offer the family the evidence-based supports that appropriately meet those needs. And like we said earlier, it may be small group, it may be individual, or another layer of service.
One of our viewers is asking, why is it so important to be talking about mental health in schools? This may not have always been a topic when some of us were growing up, but it is now. So why?
I think part of that is really reducing the stigma. We have come a long way and I have to credit our students. Our youth wants to have these conversations. And because of their voice, adults have listened throughout the country and really throughout the globe. And so it's important because all kids come to school and parents entrust their children to us for about 7 hours a day. And we need to partner with parents because they know their children best, to also serve that need. And so through, unfortunately, some tragedies, the funding has come in to recognize the need for school-based mental health, but also to meet those needs. And that's where the schoolhouse became that venue to have those conversations. And we do that in partnership with our families.
And I think, Laura, you were talking about before, the reason it's also important in school is the number of professionals we have. So sometimes when there's a mental health issue, it may be first identified by a school nurse. And that may be because that presents as maybe a stomach ache every day or some physical ailment. So we have the students for lots of hours every day. And so if we have those people in place who can identify a potential need, work collaboratively with a team, work with families and parents, we can really see what students' needs are and address them appropriately.
Mm-hmm. I think the other big thing too is when it comes to academics, if we are not treating our mental health and taking care of our mental health, then it can affect academics as well. So I think when in the school setting, it can become very important for us to recognize when a child is struggling emotionally, so that we can also improve their academics in the school setting as well.
Go ahead, Lori.
An additional layer is the fact that our staff have been trained in youth mental health first aid. And our teachers, our bus operators, our cafeteria workers, our paraprofessionals are often the eyes and ears that lead students to the school counselor or another mental health team member, because they can identify when a student is struggling or come alongside them and ask them, how are you doing today? What can I help you with? And so the training to identify and support a student for all of our staff is also critical, because we don't know what we can't identify. And so our teachers and our support staff are really important parts of this full mental health service provision.
One of our viewers is also asking that, how is social media impacting mental health right now, and what can parents do about it with their children?
And social media has benefits, but there's also a lot of challenges that come with social media. And that's one of the reasons that there are restrictions on the ages that children can have their own social media sites. So it's important for parents to monitor that at home, and also for us in the schools to monitor our code of conduct related to use of electronics. One thing that we work closely with students is, if they are on social media and they are having a challenge, to find a trusted adult. We have also programs where students are supporting students. So our SAVE clubs are one where students work together to build each other up, to make sure students aren't left out, to make sure students have somebody they can talk to. But when it does come to social media and some of the challenges that our students face, we would want them to feel comfortable finding a trusted adult so we can help them work through whatever that challenge might be.
A question that we got earlier is, how can I support my child at home with their mental health and wellness?
I can lead off on this one just by, one of the things that we talk a lot about in some of our meetings is just open communication. So one of the best things you can do as a parent is make sure that you have open communication with the teacher and vice versa. That we make sure that if there's a concern, that people feel comfortable sharing, and that we can do so knowing that we're doing that to ensure the best outcome for our students. So sometimes we have conversations that can be difficult to have, but at the end of the day, know that the people that we work with, our support staff, and the families that we work very closely with are all here to ensure the best outcome for their children. So those relationships are really critical.
I think also checking in with your child, especially during activities where you might be throwing the ball around. A lot of parents that drive, we're all parent taxis, driving their students or their children back and forth in the car a lot of times because we're not sitting directly eye to eye with our students saying, how are you doing today? Those conversations will arise. You know when your child will generally bring something up. And if you have a concern as a parent, doing that activity where you know your son or daughter will generally start to open up a little. Hey, let's play tennis, or let's play pickleball. Let's go for a walk. Doing those types of activities that are more relaxing and take those barriers away also is a good, helpful hint. And then parents monitoring and paying attention to their own mental health needs. Mm-hmm. We all have stressors in our lives. And if we want to engage in counseling, or we have our own trusted adult we need to go to or want to go to, if we know what works for us, having that conversation, asking our children, what works for you? Have you had the opportunity to kind of think about or try things that might work for you? And really giving them that outlet, that activity, that ability to have those conversations, but also modeling resiliency and those kind of those traits, and how do we deal with stress, and if we're not dealing with it, reaching out to get that assistance.
Another question that came in is, what is a good way to assist my child with self-care?
There's some great self-care apps out there that you can do together with your child as a parent. I think modeling the self-care as well is a great way to kind of show your children how self-care is so important, and just continuing to check in with them to make sure, are they taking care of their self-care? If there's anything else.
And I like to piggyback a little on what you said last time, Lori, is sort of catch them off guard or in those places where they're more comfortable. That how'd you do today doesn't always get them to respond, but if you're involved in something else, there's an opportunity for them to open up to you.
Mm-hmm. A lot of families establish routines too at the end of the day. Tell me the best part of your day today. And if you could change one thing, what would it be? And sometimes there are 5 things that your child might come up with that they would change. But maybe having that routine. The rose and thorn, or, best part, highs and lows. Best part, what would you change? There's a variety. You can Google a lot of things, ways to ask your child those things or establish those routines where you're really checking in every day, but it becomes kind of that family ritual or parent-child ritual.
There's a question from somebody watching. They want to know if you can tell us how mental health is being incorporated into the classroom, or if it is, and how is it?
Our Resiliency Education Initiative that is statewide really incorporates that education and learning into the classroom. And so as we talk through the resiliency traits and we have lessons regarding that, that's kind of that's our baseline. That's what all schools are that's what all schools do in the state of Florida. And yet our teachers can incorporate more through their lessons. I think of social studies with dealing with social responsibility. They can talk a lot about social media to illustrate how, and have kids share, how are you being socially responsible through your social media accounts and things like that. So while we do district-wide resiliency, that there's so much more that teachers do through their subject areas as well.
What about, go ahead.
Some other opportunities outside of the classroom might be like we talked about before, some things like the Safe Promise Club. I know in our student advisory wellnesses, we have something that we've addressed that topic with that group several times. And I'm sure with other clubs and in the school that they may have activities or things going on that students can participate in. Each school varies, but as professionals, we're often involved with those activities. So it's important for, parents and families and students to read your newsletter, look at your Facebook page for your school to see what activities are happening at that site.
So many ways students are anxious. Could be about tests, could be about relationships, just showing up sometimes. So how do parents support an anxious child?
I think it's really important to first validate their feelings, but also try to show them grounding techniques or teach them grounding techniques or look up some grounding techniques together. Figure out what coping skill works for your child, because each individual person has their own coping skill that really helps them. So also recognizing what are the triggers to that anxiety. So is it a test? If it's a test, then let's study a little bit more. Let's figure out what do we need to do? What do we need to work on so that I'm not so anxious about that test? Or is it, I'm anxious about social settings? And if so, okay, how can we work with the school and the mental health team at the school to really benefit the child to develop the coping skills that are needed so that they don't feel that anxiousness as much, and we kind of try to limit it.
And parents, you are experts in your children. So if you know that there's an area, maybe it's the beginning of the year that causes a lot of anxiety, reach out to your school. I think Dr. Carlin opened by saying you are not alone. And so if you know there's an issue, reach out and see what supports might be offered at the school. Is there an opportunity to go and walk the campus or meet the teacher? Can we provide some strategies that will help decrease that anxiety? Again, they may be different at each site, but we want to encourage people to reach out and to know that we're in this together supporting your students.
And along that line, a parent watching saying, you know what, I'm going to call tomorrow. I want something for my child. Is there a person, a position, who should they ask for so they don't get lost in phone messages and waiting for somebody to call them back or just on hold?
We suggest the school counselor as a first point of contact because they are in their building 5 days a week. And our other mental health team members are assigned to buildings, and they're there several days a week. The school counselor is there every day, and they will then talk with the parent. They can also talk to the student if the parent would like them to. We love to talk to kids. That's our whole world. But with parental consent, we would like to also talk to the student and gather some more information about how they're doing. And then the school mental health team can also meet and discuss. And that is where, with parental consent, we also will have the parent complete some assessments so that we have a deeper understanding of what they're observing and experiencing with their child at home. We look at attendance, behavior, grades, really the whole fabric of a student's world, if you will. And then we talk about with the parent what's appropriate for an intervention. And that's when they may be connected to the licensed mental health professional as well, or the school counselor may provide the services, but the school counselor is an excellent first point of contact because every school has at least one, and they're there full-time.
So following up on that question, coming in from somebody that's watching, once that student comes forward, how are we ensuring confidentiality?
So I'm actually going to let Ms. Kojo Carey talk about that. Confidentiality is very important in all things school-related. So we do take that seriously. And a day in the life of the licensed mental health professional, I'll let Jamie answer that.
Perfect. Thank you, Lori. So for confidentiality, obviously anybody that's on the mental health team, we are bound under HIPAA. So we do follow HIPAA. And so the only time where maybe there is not confidentiality that's kept is if there's like a significant safety concern or something like that. But everything is kept confidential. We communicate with the parents, we communicate with the students to also determine what they're comfortable with us sharing with maybe the teacher or the, you know, whoever else is outside of that mental health team. So we do work as a team together, but if there's something that they would like us to communicate with that teacher, we will. If not, then it will stay confidential.
A question also that's come in, what kind of supports are available in particular if a student is feeling bullied?
So we have a process for reporting, and that we encourage all students, whether you're a bystander, you're experiencing being bullied, we want those reports to come in so we can support all of the students involved. There are times that students may be bullying other students because they themselves are being bullied, and we need to really uncover, after all of that process is done, all of the students need a level of intervention and counseling. So the first encouragement I would provide to a student and their family is, please tell us. If we don't know it's happening, then it's very isolating and individuals feel alone. We can help with that. So we have an investigatory process. We also have services available.
I just wanted to jump in as well. My expectation as superintendent is definitely to report those types of situations. It is incumbent upon all of us, not just the bullied, but also boys and girls that see that happening, whether it's on the playground or at a school event or in the hallways. That is a must do, because our staff is fully equipped to step in and to stop that immediately. I do not expect students to come to school and feel unsafe. It is absolutely critical that you report those. And again, you know, we're going to keep you confidential. If you are scared in some way, shape, or form, we will do our very best to make sure that you are protected. But it is absolutely important. Some people ask me out in the community, how do we keep schools safe? And we can have all of the weapons detection systems, we can have strategic, we can have all kinds of fences around our schools, but who's going to keep schools safe? It's all of us, everybody in a school, making sure that they're alert and they're paying attention to what's happening around them. And please don't ever walk away from a situation that you think is unsafe and think, well, nobody's going to do anything. It is absolutely important that that is reported to the nearest adult. In most schools, we have anywhere from 100 to 200 team members. Pick one, only one of them, and please report it. It's extremely important.
That has to come in to be dealt with. You mentioned staff, Dr. Carlin, so this question that's come in is about staff members. And how are we making sure that staff doesn't feel overwhelmed themselves and getting them help and support, so that the things we talk about, what parents may be going through, but what if teachers are going through something, so that that doesn't trickle down to students?
Well, I can start that one, and maybe my team can step in behind us. It's really important. You know, work-life balance is something I think we all work to achieve. I think it's one of those things, whether you're in education or in some other sector, we're always striving to find that work-life balance. Again, as our team said before, I think it's important to reach out. If you're feeling stress, I remember when I was a first-year teacher, it felt really all-encompassing. I felt like I needed to work like 21 out of those 24 hours, and that's not sustainable. It absolutely isn't. So I had a wonderful teacher next door to me that I reached out to and said, you know, hey, this is hard. Like there's really difficult days that I've been having, and that team member was fantastic. She had been a teacher for 22 years, came next door and was able to help provide some guidance to me as a brand new first grade teacher. Here's what you can do. You know, this doesn't have to be stressful. Here's something that I would offer. And so I would say just reach out to your colleagues, reach out to your principal, reach out to your counselor or one of the licensed mental health folks at the schools, because certainly we're all in this together. It's not an expectation that you are Hercules or that you're all-knowing and that you can handle anything that comes your way. That's the beautiful part of being part of the school district family, is we are truly a family and we're here for each other.
Additionally, there are employee benefits that may help support depending on the need. So if you have an event maybe you don't want to share with somebody in the school, you can access the employee assistance program, and that's confidential and free to our employees. So that's one resource. And like Dr. Carlin said, speaking to someone in the school. So even if your LMHP may not provide a direct support to you, just like we do for families, they can certainly provide a number of resources for you, in addition to talking to colleagues and engaging in other employee benefits offered by the district.
And I would just like to add that our benefits with the school district, if you do have the school district insurance, it covers 100% of mental health services if you needed to go out and see your own therapy or whatever services. So it is a great benefit that the staff have and a resource that the staff have as well.
We don't do this alone, so one of the questions we have is, what are some of the community resources that are available to support our mental health?
We have a variety, a large variety of community resources. We're very blessed in this community that we have specific partnerships, and also we have a guide that is many pages long that highlight all of the resources in the community. We have this available on our district mental health and wellness portal. We also have a hard copy that we can pass out to families. It's a brochure that's multi-page. So if we see them in person, we can give that to them, but it's also on our mental health and wellness portal on leeschools.net. Some specific partnerships we have that we frequently provide to families are our partnership with Valerie's House for grief support, the Center for Progress and Excellence. They have some free counseling services and they connect families to additional services as needed. They also have crisis support. We have our partnership with Lee Health and Kids Minds Matter, which provides parenting classes to parents that desire to attend. And parenting classes is not because parents do parenting badly, it's because our children do not come with instruction manuals. And parenting is the hardest job on earth and yet the most rewarding. And so the parenting classes there are actually fun. You can really drop your shoulders and just participate, and they're really engaging. And we have a partnership with Salus Care as well. We just have a variety of more formal partnerships, and yet all of our community agencies, when we give parents those resource lists and guides and they find them on the website, it's really a matter of what is your need. You can search by need, and then which community agency best matches what you're looking for.
I think that dovetails into this question that's also come in from a parent just asking, you went through a lot of the community resources, but if the parent is looking for that kind of support, where can they begin? Can they begin with us to get to some of those agencies because they're feeling overwhelmed? They want to know where they should go.
Well, and part of school-based mental health services is that we assist parents, especially if we're assisting children. Part of that conversation really needs to be all-encompassing around what are your needs, do you have some family needs, you personally, because our resource guides are, they're not limited to students, school-age children. They can be for anyone. And so that could be a really good resource. And again, sometimes parents are up at 1 or 2 in the morning, and go to our mental health and wellness portal too, because that's a 24/7 information hub. And it's, again, not limited to children, it's for all.
What should students do if they think a friend of theirs is in need of some mental health support and that friend's maybe not coming forward? So can a student come forward for them and make a referral?
They wouldn't be able to make a referral per se, but they can absolutely, we encourage them to go reach out to their school counselor to let them know, hey, I have concerns regarding a friend of mine, this is their name, and then that school counselor can maybe follow up to see what is going on and reach out to maybe that particular student's parents to see if they have concerns as well.
I'd like to add to that, that really, if you see something concerning, tell an adult. Back to everything that has been discussed up here tonight is you are not alone. And there are people who will listen to you, and please do share. Because our students, and I failed to mention this earlier, I said our teachers are our eyes and ears, and our staff, our students really are as well, as Dr. Carlin said. And we have those SAVE clubs that assist with positive school culture and students helping students. And when we say students helping students, we mean to get them connected, not just to each other, but really to get connected to that adult if they see something and they want to connect their friend or share on behalf of their friend so that we can reach out.
And I think you've mentioned this, the number one place maybe they should begin to look for is the portal. That's where you would recommend parents and students start?
I would say yes, and if they have a specific concern for their student, then the school counselor, the call to the school counselor, the email is an important connection. For more information-based, absolutely, that portal was built for that reason.
And it can direct you to any number of help, right? All the
Yes.
resources that are available, it's all through there.
Yes.
All right. I think we've just gone through about all of our questions, unless there's any more that come in real quick. I've got one more, so let me get to it. So many times students don't want to come forward. How do we help them gain confidence to seek help?
I think that all is about connections. So us staff in the school, building those connections with the students. Sometimes it might be a friend of theirs. It's like, hey, I went and talked to the school counselor. They're a great resource. Or I have, the licensed mental health professional on campus that I went to and they really helped me. So a lot of times it can be that those connections that you may build with one child and then that child is able to assist their friend with going back and building that connection with you as well. But I think connections are so key in so many areas, that the staff building connections with children, the children building connections with each other, and just in general really helps to kind of, the whole reason why we're here today is we're trying to break that barrier and that stigma when it comes to mental health, to reach out for help.
It's okay to ask.
It is okay to ask,
That's
absolutely.
right. I was going to add as well, just to piggyback on the connections piece, you never know who is most instrumental in a child's life. Obviously, when we have students that play sports, and so sometimes a coach becomes the first person that they will go to, or if I'm in band, maybe my band instructor. There's so many clubs that kids belong to. You just never know. A special affinity you might have for a building supervisor, or somebody working in food service who gives you that extra smile during the day, and you think, I'm going to go tell her, something that's going on. And so just finding who is the adult that you feel most connected with, because our staff knows. They know to direct you to somebody that can get you the help that you need. But I would say, boys and girls, and even parents, reaching out to somebody that you already trust, somebody that you know cares about you and or your child at school, that's always a good place to start. Obviously, the counselor is the place we advocate for, but if there is somebody you feel a special connection to, please don't hesitate to reach out. Even your principal. You have to see somebody at the car ramp, or somebody that's at the bus ramp, or at a ball game, even out in the community, wherever that person might be, please don't hesitate to reach out.
And this question's just come in. I'll ask this. How is the district providing additional support and resources to schools while ensuring that social workers and families are getting ongoing support?
So I would say, I'll start with that one. So we do receive an allocation from the state. I think that Ms. Brooks mentioned that earlier. We do also have dollars that we allocate through our district, so that we do have the resources that are necessary to help support our students. As Ms. Brooks talked about, there's a school counselor, at least one at every school. So please, utilize those folks, because as Ms. Brooks said, they are there 100% of the time. Like we've talked about tonight, there are also social workers and licensed mental health professionals and school psychologists and lots of different folks in that arena that are present frequently on the campus. So yes, it's very important, and we do allocate the dollars for those various important positions.
Before we go, first, Jamie, Lori, Jessica, any final words or advice to our parents that are watching?
I would just say to kind of also keep an eye on behaviors. Because with every behavior, there's some kind of form of communication going on. So I think if we really pay attention to what's going on with our children, we can determine what are they communicating and how can we get them help. And it's okay to ask for help ourselves if we're not quite sure. We have plenty of resources available. Please reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're here and we want to help.
I would add to that, and thank you. I love the mention of the behaviors, and that is, behavior is a form of communication. I would want parents to know that you are not alone. You send us your most precious human beings every day. We would like to help and support you, and also that mental health services would occur only with your consent. And we want to be part of that community and really link arms around the growth and development of our children. And so we thank you for the trust you place in us. And I do believe, and I hope that some phones ring tomorrow with our school counselors, because we stand ready to serve the needs of your child if you have concerns.
And I would just touch on, in a world of electronics and social media where everybody's lives look perfect, that people are struggling with the same exact things that you're struggling with, and they have the same challenges. So reach out, talk to somebody. There are wonderful resources, and we've shared a lot of resources. We've shared a lot of people to talk to. But if you pick up the phone and you call any school, you call the district, you call anybody, we will get you to the right place. So if you leave here and you say, well, I don't remember exactly who I was supposed to call in the school, or call any number in the district and we will get you to the person that you need to talk to. So just don't hesitate to reach out. And like my panel of members have said, you aren't alone. We are all in this together to support you, to support families, to support our students.
Dr. Carlin, final word to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Rob. So first of all, thank you to our panel of experts. They did a wonderful job. And thank you all for joining us this evening and for being a part of this very important conversation. As we close, remember, mental health matters and help is always available. Whether you're a student, a staff member, or a family member in need of support, as we've said tonight, please don't hesitate to pick one adult in that school building and reach out. As we've said many times, you are not alone. Together, we can continue building a caring, connected community where everyone feels safe, supported, and empowered. Stay well, take care of one another, and thank you for being part of the School District of Lee County family. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panelists. Thank you for watching. We appreciate all your help and support and your questions. Have a good night.